What a great sight that is. Gas stations in the Triad are getting more fuel after the Colonial Pipeline was restored to services yesterday.
But the road to recovery is not over yet. We are a long ways away from where this started with the hack on Friday, but we still have a ways to go. What's that going to look like?
I'm Maddie Gardner here with Ben Briscoe, and from now until 6 o'clock, we're going to dig into the road back to life as we knew it and normal. And we're also going to take a look at why North Carolina was hit hardest with gas services.
Yeah, there's actually a reason behind that. You see, why did so many stations go without gas? Well, as of this morning, 69% of stations were without gas. AAA says it comes down to geography. You see, Carolinas were right in the middle. We're a cut through to many other travel hotspots. They're also a vacation destination. As you know, we got those beautiful beaches and mountains. People come here all year long, and that high demand can cause supply issues on its own. Another reason is because we normally, North Carolinians, use less gas per person compared to other states. So when we all panic, there's a bigger swing it can go and a bigger surge than in other places. Check this out. On Tuesday afternoon, almost 10% of stations were without gas. Wednesday morning, that number jumped to nearly 25%. Compare that to South Carolina, which jumped from 4 to 13, and Virginia, which moved nearly from 8% to 15%.
So how did this all happen? A ransomware attack targeted the pipeline on Friday, forcing the company to shut down their services. The FBI says the hackers were part of a group known as Dark Side, believed to be based in Russia.
The internet fueled the fire of the gas shortage with plenty of complaints and rumors. You may have seen some claims that President Biden's policies were actually responsible for the cyber attack and the gas shortage. We can verify both are false.
We've seen a lot of headlines and social media posts with long lines at gas stations claiming this is Biden's America and blaming the president for the gas shortage. So we set out to verify, is President Biden responsible for a gas shortage? Our sources are Jeanette Castellino-McGee, the director of external communications for AAA, and Winthrop political science professor Dr. Scott Huffman. Dr. Huffman says a lot of the blaming we're seeing happening online is due to the polarized world we live in right now.
Everything is politicized today to the point where if someone stubs their toe, it's the fault of the other political party. Colonial's a private company. To say that a president who's been in office for a bit over 100 days is at fault for this cyberware attack doesn't make a lot of sense.
So while Dr. Huffman says President Biden is not to blame for the gas shortage, it's up to his administration to make sure cyber attacks like the one on the Colonial Pipeline doesn't keep happening.
There will absolutely never be a way to completely and utterly prevent this now that everything is online. But it is incumbent on the administration to work to mitigate it in the future, even if any particular attack's not their fault.
As far as if a shortage is actually happening, McGee says it's important to keep things in context.
Yes, possibly in your market, you're seeing a lot of bagged pumps and stations that just don't have fuel. But that doesn't mean we are out of fuel in the United States. There is ample supply. We're not looking at a gas shortage. We're looking at a transportation issue right now.
So we can verify that no, President Biden is not responsible for a gas shortage, but should be part of the solution.
Well, the next question we want to address is how long will we be on this road to recovery? Keep in mind, this is the first time that this pipeline has ever been fully shut down in its entire history. President Biden says we won't see the effects of the restoration immediately, so we all need to pack our patience and be conservative with our gas for a little bit longer.
Do not get more gas than you need in the next few days. As I said, we expect the situation to begin to improve by the weekend and into early next week, and gasoline supply is coming back online, and panic buying will only slow the process.
All right, let's take a look at this timeline one more time. Gas stations are getting more supplies of gas as of today. President Biden says we can expect to see gas stations getting more products sometime this weekend into next week, but it could take up to 2 weeks for gas stations to be completely back on their feet. Okay, here's what the administration says they've already done to speed up the recovery. An emergency order is now in place to lift the hourly restrictions for truck drivers and weight limits on their hauls. The EPA also issued a 20-day waiver in 20 different states, including North Carolina, that allows suppliers to be more flexible to stretch the product by waiving some environmental protections on adding higher emissions fuel to the current supply. This won't hurt your car in any way. It's just a waiver to help gas stations from running low on gas. Finally, foreign ships can transport refined fuel to help with the supply.
And now we can turn our attention to the long road ahead. We can't just ride off into the sunset and forget this ever happened. Instead, we've got to figure out how to prevent another ransomware attack on this pipeline and all of our other infrastructure too. The Secretary of Transportation says one idea going forward is a new proposed requirement that in order to qualify for federal funds, private companies and local and state governments have to prove they have strong cybersecurity systems.
And with the improvements we're making over the next few years, we're only going to strengthen that security. It's a constant battle. We have to stay ahead of the challenges that we're facing. We have to make the improvements ahead of the risk so that we can make sure to keep the grid protected and reliable for all of our communities.
Bottom line, how safe should people in the Triad feel about their energy being protected from hackers?
No, I think the energy grid is very safe. It's something that we focus on every day. We've made significant investments and improvements to make it secure. That doesn't happen overnight. That takes planning, that takes improvements, and we are trained to respond to these types of situations.
And because of what happened with the pipeline, we started calling all of our other utility systems today too to see what's being done to protect you. Get this, the city of Greensboro actually says with their water department, it's actually not even connected to the worldwide internet at all. They don't want to risk hackers getting into it. And Duke Energy says they run drills all the time to protect you and to practice getting the energy grid ready in case a hacker does attack. Plus, they are investing billions in upgrading the system to be more protected.
And with the improvements we're making over the next few years, we're only going to strengthen that security. It's a constant battle. We have to stay ahead of the challenges that we're facing. We have to make the improvements ahead of the risk so that we can make sure to keep the grid protected and reliable for all of our communities.
Bottom line, how safe should people in the Triad feel about their energy being protected from hackers?
No, I think the energy grid is very safe. It's something that we focus on every day. We've made significant investments and improvements to make it secure. That doesn't happen overnight. That takes planning, that takes improvements, and we are trained to respond to these types of situations.
Okay, the bottom line, listen to that spa, peaceful music, and relax. We can all take a breath because everything's going to be all right. We will get through this problem together.
We absolutely will. Gas stations are going to be getting more gas over the next few days. This is actually a live look at one of our Triad gas stations. You can see no bags on the pumps. The gas is there. The root of the problem wasn't supply, it was demand. Too many people bought too much gas all at the same time, and it dwindled down our resources. So the message is be patient over the weekend. This problem will fix itself at the start of next week.
And soon enough, you'll be able to hit the open road again without worry. Thanks for watching. We're going to continue this conversation at WFMY News 2 at 6, where you can find out how to easily find a gas station like this one that's got stock again.